it up.
All right.
All right.
We're back.
We have a special edition this time.
Bikes and Brews is on fire this time.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
As you've probably noticed, this is our topic. However,
my melon's probably covering half of it, but yeah.
No,
I think you get the idea.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got some beers to go over first, and then I'm going to basically just go on unhinged rant.
Yes.
About all of the rule
and
changes.
I'm going to improvise really good.
Oh, I did forget a section, but I can improvise that one.
So needless to say, this is Ryan.
Yeah, I'm Ryan.
I'm Carl.
I'm RJ.
Jackhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Raging. Okay, what do we have today, boys? Boys. We have a party beer company. I like that. Tropicat. Oh my gosh.
It's all class here. It just happens to be low.
Mango pineapple wheat ale.
Wonderful.
This sounds like a party in a can.
This sounds horrific.
Wheat ale.
So
you have no idea what that means.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That means you can flavor the crap out of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the strawberry.
Well, I like
one.
mango.
It's kind of like the
I
strawberry
like
one we had a little bit ago.
You think?
That one was strawberry, but this one has much more of a head.
That's pretty
I'm
good.
not going to be chivalrous and pour myself one first, and then I'm going to pour yours, because you get the swill.
Hell yeah. It's about the same as what we got.
Thank you, I think.
So I did a pretty good job of going a little trifecta there.
Ooh. Lots of grapefruit in that. Grapefruit. Smells like grapefruit.
It's supposed to be pineapple and mango.
Yep.
I got
Smells like grapefruit.
I got no mango.
You got no mango?
No mango. Pineapple down the hallway.
It's kind of sharp, but I think that's where you're getting that citrus from. But I think that's the pineapple mixed with the beer taste.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't really get much mango.
No, I don't get it.
I'm not getting any mango. Well, that's not good.
I don't mind it. It's a summery beery.
It's a little.
It
more
doesn't
bitter.
do what it says on the can. I want pineapple and I want mango. I didn't get shit.
I got pineapple.
It's like the pineapple after you've eaten it, and
It's
then
like a pineapple
it
LaCroix.
comes back into your mouth later on.
And then you burped it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you ate a pineapple like a couple hours
It's
ago.
like the aftertaste
And
from
you burped
pineapple.
Yeah.
Burped up a little bit of the pieces.
Yeah, but I get no mango.
ABV?
I like it.
No idea.
I'm not in love with it, but I like it. Maybe I'll feel different after I've had a couple swills of it.
Totally pass.
No.
It's more bitter than the strawberry. So.
Yeah.
I like it better that way, though. It's not a bad bitterness.
He wants his
Yeah,
beer
it's
to
not
taste like beer.
Yes.
Right.
The last one was just kind of flat. This one's not that flat. It has, even though the head went down right away, it still has a little bit more carbonation to me.
Yeah.
I like texture better.
All right. What do we rate it?
ABV first.
Alcohol first.
Oh, 6.
Ooh.
Oh,
Next.
for alcohol?
Yeah.
5.
4.7.
Ooh.
Probably way.
Does anybody know?
Yes.
No, I don't.
4.5.
Oh,
Winner.
chicken dinner.
Well, y'all lose.
I'd prefer.
Price is Right rules.
Yeah.
All right.
Ratings.
I'm going to give that an 8.5.
Oh, wow. That's kind of
really?
Yeah, I'm
high.
up there. I like it. For summertime, I would drink that. At the beach, I'd open that beer.
Party.
Arte.
What do you got, RJ?
It is party company.
I'm going to say 7.4. I don't like it as much as the strawberry.
Really? I like it better than the strawberry.
I think it's a 6.
It,
Alright.
it
What
kind of
happened? I used to be 8s. Now you're not getting anything but 6s now. Am I right?
It's kind of misleading with the pineapple mango because
It is a little misleading because I'm not tasting the mango very well. I
No
barely
mango.
taste the pineapple, and the mango's pretty much absent.
And I don't like beer.
yeah. But
And you
that's-
don't like beer.
So all I get is the part that I don't like and none of the parts that I do like.
Okay.
Drop a cat.
Tropicat.
Better luck next time.
Where did you get this from?
Total Wine, probably.
Total win. Yeah.
Total Wine?
My girlfriend picked it because it looked stupid.
It's pretty
It's kinda
stupid.
dumb.
I don't know who the party beer company is. Where are these guys based out of? I bet you they don't have fresh mango and pineapple.
Why would they? It's in
Like the Midwest or something.
Yeah.
Or pineapples.
Buellton, Los Angeles.
Buellton is not anywhere near Los Angeles.
Yeah, Buellton's like north.
It's
Well, it says Los Angeles plus Buellton, so it's probably brewed in two different places.
like a collab.
Neither of which have pineapple or mango.
Correct.
Neither
So
of
it's
those
probably
are
getting shipped in from somewhere,
What?
not in a good way.
They can do that.
Wow. Thanks, UPS. Very cool.
Yeah. Amazon it in.
Yeah.
Bezos is it in.
All right.
All right.
Right.
So I've prepared a fun presentation because so far, if you've looked around or heard any of the cycling news and YouTube and things and stuff, everybody's pissed off at the UCI right now because they decided to make a bunch of rules. So I figured I would go ahead and make a handy dandy little PowerPoint presentation here to go ahead and explain to everybody and kind of get them up to speed, keep them abreast.
All the key things
Yes.
that the UCI is doing right now.
Exactly, and it's going to be presented in the utmost professional manner, which is why I have a lab coat, because we're doing science. So,
Science.
I think probably Carl slightly over. Go ahead. And
Trying to. Whoa, man, that was almost a party foul right there.
And we got a pool cue for a pointer. All right. So, fuck the UCI.
Oh, wow,
All
you're
my
right.
homies hate the UCI.
Wow, you're out of frame.
Am I back in the frame now?
Zoom out a little bit.
I'm going to.
Just go like this. Our studio's going to hell right now. The other way.
Oh, no, I did it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There we go.
Okay.
You're good.
We good?
You're in.
Wonderful. Fuck the UCI. All my homies hate the UCI.
Wow.
I'm gonna think. Who is the UCI? UCI. Oh god.
Whoa, easy.
Primary global sanctioning body for cycling. They deal with things like the IOC. They're based in Eigel. It's wonderful. Take your wife or girlfriend.
Oh, and
So
I will.
Put your mic up. Put your mic up. There you go.
Oh.
That better now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And let me clarify that the UCI is different from the organizers that own the Tour de France,
Yes.
the Giro and everything. So don't get those
that's,
confused.
yeah, the Giro is RCS and the Tour is I forgot.
And the Volta, I have no clue.
RCS also, I believe.
Really?
I could be
I'm
wrong.
sure about that. You're probably wrong.
I don't care.
You're probably wrong.
Anyhow, we're angry at the UCI right now, not them.
Yeah.
Alrighty, they partner with national federations, British Cycling, USA Cycling, who's also useless, but we can cover that in another video. They host events that can funnel into world championships, internationals, world cups, blah, 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 blah. Type of shit you're not going to compete in yourself, but you'll watch on TV, it'll be a fun, good time. Why is everyone so pissed off? They made new rules on handlebar width, wheel depth, and announced that they're going to be testing gear ratio restrictions because everybody needs to be juniors now.
And you can't celebrate at the finish line. Don't forget that one.
Oh, thank God they saved us there.
Yeah.
This is all to improve safety in cycling. So we're going to go kind of one by one. As I was making this an hour ago, I kind of lost my train of thought. I did have a rough outline, so bear with me.
We're super thorough at Bikes and Brews.
Yeah. So the red herring is the sport is getting faster, which kind of. And you'll see with my wonderful data here, which was not stolen off of Reddit. Average speed by the Tour de France winner by year. As you can see, it did go faster.
Yes.
Up until fucking 1980. 1980 was a long time ago.
And then halfway in the decade, or
Yeah,
around
by-
1990, they started doping to the gills.
They were doing fucking meth and shit all the way back.
I
as
know,
far
but it
as
wasn't really
World War II.
performance enhancing. It was just pain reducing.
Still improves performance.
Yes.
All right.
That's a good point.
So, anyhow, since 2000, which is, unfortunately, this is going to hurt some of you who are of the older bunch, a lot of the riders who were riding, 2000 is about when they were born.
What?
No.
So anyhow, all this area here has not really changed, kind of plateaued. A lot of the reason for that is because in the 1980s, the Tour got a hell of a lot shorter, which means they ride it faster. Hard to believe, I know. That said, routes and weather likely have more to do with this than anything else. If you're some sort of presenter and you're trying to go ahead and make the sport sound really exciting and technologically advanced, you're going to go ahead and talk about how much faster this has gotten. Fucking 2005 was damn near as fast as 2024. So you can throw all the carbon and brakes and fancy tires and bullshit and skin suits you want at it. There's still more to it than the route and the weather and that shit. Anyhow, we're beating a dead horse, moving swiftly along. Have the UCI demonstrated that an approximately 2 mile an hour speed increase has led to more crashes and injuries? No.
No.
No. That's stupid. Why was 2005 faster than many of the years after it until 2024 if all the bikes are faster now? Probably route, weather, elevation, or any combination of the above. Stupid.
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 So, is the Peloton actually getting faster? Perhaps, but are we really going to try and say the 2 mile per hour increase in average speed in recent years is meaningfully increasing the likelihood of injury? That's a big stretch. So what are they doing about it? On to the fun new rules. Maximum wheel depth, 65 millimeters.
Did they explain why they're getting rid of that?
Fuck you, that's why. Have people been crashing due to wheels deeper than 65 millimeters? No. Pros typically have a choice of wheels at each stage if it's windy and there's a concern about crosswind, or they're set to do a substantial amount of climbing. They use different wheels because they have options.
Yes.
This is stupid. New handlebar width regulations. This one's pissed everybody off specifically. And I've even brought in their own fun graphics here to explain. Minimum width of 400 millimeters outside to outside, meaning from there to there, and from there to there. Minimum width between the lever hoods of 320 millimeters, which is between the brake lever hoods, which these are brake lever hoods. Fucking staggering. And then maximum of 50 millimeters from the inside of the lever area to the outside of the drops, meaning from this
They
point
can't flare
to
too
that
much,
one.
basically.
Can't have too much flare.
Yeah.
Why is this stupid? Most male professional cyclists, in case you are unaware of this, are built like jockeys. They're not large people except for the few of them that are.
And even then, it's all relative.
Correct. A large cyclist is still the tiniest football player you'd never see. Many of the women are also requiring narrow handlebars because, as you may be aware, if you've ever seen a woman, they tend to be, on average, smaller than men.
What?
If we're doing this for in the name of safety, why are we preventing people from riding bikes that fit? Stupid. Narrow bars can actually reduce the likelihood of hooking or clipping competitors in a tight peloton or group. Narrow bars, sub 40 centimeters, have been used as far back as the 1940s by Bartoli, Merckx, and others to win the Tour. Later, as tires got narrower and trail figures reduced, wider bars became more prevalent until today, where tires have become wider and the trail figures have grown. Then we get on to the 6-month time frame, which existing manufacturers are going to be forced to make new bars to conform to new rules and somehow make them available globally within 6 months and have time to design, test, and then call China and order enough of them
And produce them. And
to
then
produce
sell
them and then
pre-bulk
distribute them. And yeah, no. Fucking fat nope.
Nobody did any study to figure that part out.
Proposed gear limitation. This one's really dumb. Crashes aren't happening as a result of riders being able to move up and past groups. Otherwise, you would go ahead and see pile-ups of 50 to 60 riders at a time, and that's usually as a result of a dog running into the road, which if the UCI was actually doing their goddamn jobs, that wouldn't be happening either. Professionals are using large chain rings to reduce frictional losses in their drivetrains by calculating the gear ratio that they'll need for the course and what chain ring is required to make that ratio have the straightest possible chain line. It does not mean that Josh Tarling is cruising around in a 68 fucking 11. Because although he might be big, he's still a cyclist. Downhill speed is primarily limited by aerodynamic drag, not gear ratio. This is why the Super Tuck was effective and also banned. Aero drag increases with the square of speed. Terminal velocity will always show up regardless of how hard you want to thrash against it. You can pedal as hard as you want, you're still not going to go 90 miles an hour down a hill under your own goddamn power, even if you have a 100-tooth chain ring. It's not going to happen. Forcing pros to use smaller gear ratios will force sprinters to adopt unnaturally high cadences that will make sprinting less safe, as it will require further coordination.
I want to comment on that later. I'll let you finish
Under
this.
maximum exertion. The other one is enforcing gear ratio bans also requires them to police the rollout of the rear tire, which creates a problem for tire and wheel manufacturers as well as the teams, because as the width of the tire changes, depending on the inside width of the wheel you're mounting it onto, will change how much rubber is displaced in the tread and how tall the wheel becomes. The taller the wheel is, the greater the rollout. That will change your final drive ratio, which means that now the UCI is going to go ahead and have to get a fucking tape measure and measure everybody's rollout of their wheels to make sure that their gear ratios are legal. This is dumb. Yeah, I think that about handles that one. On to the next. Who thought this was a good idea? UCI consulted with their stakeholders, whatever that means, they don't define it. There's been 3 teams that I've asked people who have some sort of daily goings on with. None of them were consulted. I'm not going to name them because obviously that would be bad. So they went ahead and consulted with Safer, which is a consultancy group represented or led by Adam Hansen. Adam Hansen is a retired pro who famously thought disc brakes were hazardous and should also be banned. We saw how well that worked out, and there is no more rim brakes in the professional peloton, despite the fact that they are allowed today. The other thing is, during that same period, he was also heavily criticized by Geraint Thomas and Chris Froome for being ineffective in communicating the wants and needs of the riders to the UCI. So he had a shit take and couldn't really communicate it. He's also been arguing with people on the Weight Weenies forums. Feel free to jump in over there. Actual safety problems, which the UCI doesn't want to solve because, God, that would make sense, and it would also cost money. So, what crashes have been notable recently? 2020 Tour de France, I think it was stage 2 or 4. The promo caravan was sponsored by a company that produces soap and laundry detergent, who thought it was just a fucking swell idea to go ahead and have soap bubbles falling out of the back all over because it was festive and it was a fun parade. The problem was it soaked the entire road, which is a condition for with which no one's tires were prepared for, and people were crashing all over the place. I know what I like doing when I'm getting ready for 3 weeks of riding across France, cheese gratering myself on the road because some dipshit at the UCI decided to rubber stamp a soap truck. Failing to secure routes from farm protests. It's a moving target, I know, but there's been 3 years where the tour has been completely stopped because farmers blocked roads.
I think
Maybe we could figure that out instead
the
of
spectators are doing a good job of policing it better than the UCI.
Yeah, exactly. Downhill sprint finishes. We all know this is stupid. It still happens. Unsafe barriers and finishes. This they kind of addressed in the last couple years.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
It's better, but why do we still have metal feet supporting barriers in the way?
And
where
it funnels in for the arc.
Yeah, exactly.
It should have been 2 miles back that they funneled it in.
Yeah. Gino Mater's death from falling down a ravine into a river on a descent, unsafe course markings. There's a number of things you could go ahead and investigate, figure out how you can prevent people from those types of crashes. They don't want to do it because the courses are, often over 100 miles long, and then they would have to actually, spend some time and money figuring out how to...
Even if they had a guy with a flag there, the way they put him there for the islands and stuff.
Yeah, no, same with Remco's crash at Lombardia, bad course markings. Florence Duplass at Lombardia, crashed, flipped over a K-rail, falls, lands in a tree. The photos are excellent. That was quite a while ago. This one is particularly offensive. This was at an event that was hosted by the UCI, the World Championships in Zurich. Murray Führer crashes descending, wasn't discovered until an hour and a half later, was airlifted to a hospital, and died the next day. Are we going to go ahead and say this is because her handlebars was too narrow or because her wheels were too deep? I don't think it was either. I think it's unacceptable that anybody crashes and lays on the side of the road for an hour and a half. 2024, it's Zulia Basque Country. Remco, Vingegaard, Roglic, and others were involved in a high-speed crash descending. They all somehow land in a concrete ditch beside the road and they were all hospitalized, one of which was nearly killed. Fabio Jakobsen and Dylan Groenewegen at the Tour of Poland. Everybody knows that story.
That one was gnarly.
It was in Unchained, or Pedal to Survive, or whatever we want to call that one nowadays. That's been kind of policed better with sprint deviations, but I mean, we all saw Philipsen at the Tour last year, so we see how very seriously they take that. So kudos to the UCI. In the interest of fairness, I wanted to go ahead and point out a couple things we thought they've done well. We don't want to just go ahead and shit on them, despite the fact that I titled this presentation, Fuck the UCI, all my homies hate the UCI. Sock height rule, way to go on that one. It was dumb as hell at first. I do appreciate how complex and cartoonishly stupid the tool to measure that actually looks. But they did stop us all from looking like everyone on the last flight to Kona in full compression stockings. TT helmet ban on road races. Cycling already looks spermy enough, so shout out to the UCI there. They're really keeping us looking good. They banned air bars in mass start races. That was before my time, and that's all I got. The part that I forgot here is, you're probably thinking to yourself, Ryan, you're 30-something years old, you ride a bike for fun, why the fuck do you care about what a bunch of assholes in Switzerland want to say about professional racing? None of it affects you. It doesn't, really, but the problem is you've got trickle-down, where it affects all of the R&D that goes into the products that everyday people use. So,
Like clip-on aero bars were never an issue once they were outlawed.
yeah. But what it does do is it means that you and me are less likely to have good equipment that we can choose from. It also raises the prices of the equipment that we have to buy, because you're going to have to go ahead and aim in the camera.
Good.
Yeah, all of those development costs, all of the liquidated parts that are now no longer legal that the manufacturers have in stock that they can't sell, they're going to have to go ahead and get rid of. And they're also going to have to develop a whole new line of products that have not had all of their expenses and R&D amortized over their product life cycle. So basically, the ineptitude of a bunch of morons in Switzerland and Adam Hansen is going to go ahead and raise the price of everyone's hobby, whether they actually want to care about pro racing or not. That's my rant.
Okay, that was a long rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
pretty
a couple
good.
things we can address.
Yeah. So, do you have questions, comments, concerns?
Oh,
I'm going
absolutely.
to take the lab coat off.
You can take the lap.
No.
I'll let you take the lap off. I understand what they're doing. I mean, the trend for bars getting narrow has been getting a little bit out of hand lately. It's on a trend to go that way. I don't think it's really there yet, but they needed to put their foot down at a certain point. I think they did it a little bit too.
Keep in mind, they already had a bar width minimum, which was 35 centimeters, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or excuse me, it was 34 of the clamped area.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
but
seems reasonable.
I don't think they saw the hoods canting in that much until recently, because that really wasn't an
So
issue.
they have a rule about that too, and a special tool where you go ahead and you 3D print this stupid piece of shit, and you put it there, and it basically controls the flare of the lever to
Right.
match the handlebars.
I don't know if they defined it the way they're doing it right now. Yeah, I think the implementation of it's ridiculous. There's two issues. One of it is the quick turnaround. 6 months is ridiculous.
Yeah, because all these manufacturers place their orders
Well in advance.
3 to 6 months in advance by the time they have a finished product.
I mean, as we all know, bikes tend to hit the shop. So if we're talking about 2026, they're starting to hit the showroom floors a few months before the end of the year, often. Start landing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to figure, if you're working backwards from there, shops are taking their orders months before that, and then trade shows, and then product development and marketing has to take the photos of the final
Yep.
executed prototypes and all that stuff. Like that's not a 6 month window. It's not fair.
No, it's at least a year at best.
At best. And so I think it's really now with the all-inclusive cockpit and everything, it's not a matter of just changing the bars. It's the whole cockpit. It's pretty ridiculous. So I think that part is the most ridiculous. I think the numbers, if they were going to fudge them and make them a little wider, because it was getting stupid where people are starting to do this, guys that are 6'6" and they're like I get that. That was getting a little bit out of hand, but
Well, and what's been the alternatives that some people have brought up is say, well, I mean, keep in mind, you have a lot of women who, based on these rules, are not going to be able to have a handlebar that is actually correct, given the width of their shoulders.
Well, there's two
So
parts
why
of
don't
it.
you just go ahead and say, hey, the width of the shoulder is plus or minus 3 centimeters?
Well, I think you could maybe have a rule for women and men, but that, if there's tall women, there's short men, so that might not be the best way to do it. But I think you do it sort of like a TT bike, where the pole extensions. You have different for how tall you are or whatever. I think that would solve it. Maybe they can't do it because they're, I'm pretty broad shouldered. I would need to have a wider bar than somebody that's like has.
Yeah, because the issue is the actual acromion width, which is the shoulder width measured from the bony bit of your shoulder.
I think that would be really hard to measure. So I can understand the complication there. I think though.
Well, my point is that width doesn't necessarily track evenly with height.
That too.
It's
So-
different for every person.
So it would be
Yeah.
easier to go ahead and simply measure someone's shoulder width, and then say, hey, here's your window. It needs to be between these numbers.
And then have an absolute.
Yeah, but how do you enforce
Minimum.
that?
Tape measure.
That'd be like, what if it's within millimeters and stuff, and somebody's like, "Oh, I didn't have a Big Mac today."
That's why you have a tolerance which is called out, plus or minus a fairly wide range, to where if you have somebody who
I agree that I think there needed to be something done. I just think they're being a little bit heavy-handed, too heavy-handed for the good of the sport. I think it's too quick turnaround, and especially because.
But are they actually improving safety? I don't think so.
Well, unless
none of these changes make anything any safer.
Well, if it got too narrow, it would be unsafe. But there's already some rules.
And if it
put in
is
place.
safer, can they go ahead and show us any of the data?
Yeah, that's the thing. They should back it up with hard data.
And they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some guys, especially on track, where it's gotten ridiculously narrow.
Oh, they're at 20-some.
Yeah, so I get it, where it's like, okay, that's ridiculous, So
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. You got to stop it somewhere, but maybe make it a temporary ruling, like it has to be in production, but by this time, within a couple years, that's the ruling, and then it needs to be reasonable. It shouldn't be 40, 42, that kind of stuff is a little bit too.
Yeah, you can't put a specific number on it and not have it be unfair to certain individuals, especially in the women's.
Right. Yeah, I think the height rule or something like that, or like they measure the height. I guess you could measure shoulder width or whatever.
I mean, the other thing I think is hilarious about the wheel depth issue is like there's certain people who have their wheels are 67 millimeters.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
You get to redesign your product over 2 millimeters.
I noticed that because there's a couple brands at the Eurobike that's happening right now that just came out with them, and they're like 65 or 66, 67, right there, and they're like, okay, that's no longer legal. Their wheels aren't even on the market yet. They're just showing what's coming out in 2026. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they already have the molds and
And
everything.
I think it's self-policing. Nobody's riding with a full disc because it's like they don't want to ride that.
And the rule before was, I think, 80 millimeters, 85, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and it was self-policing. Nobody's riding an 85.
I was saying nobody shows up on 80s.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty ridiculous.
I think the deepest you'd see was UAE on NV67s, and those were 70, 75 in the rear.
And even then, nobody's
Nobody's steering with the rear end.
I know. They're self-policing that, so I think that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they need to do a much better job. And you're right. The things that they do need to focus their attention on, they're not.
All of this feels like they're making changes for the sake of looking like they're trying to do something to improve safety, while all of the different crashes and issues that I've brought up have nothing to do with anything that they're changing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just obfuscating.
It almost seems like the people that are making the rules have never raced a bike race in their life.
Oh, they're completely out of touch.
Yeah, because like to me, I've never raced pro, but I've raced crits and everything, and you kind of know when things get squirrely, and and the thing is, if you limit gearing, like I'm gonna spin out my gearing at like 5311, and I'm getting those speeds where I would have to gear up more.
Yeah.
If I'm limited on my gearing, it's going to limit my top speed. I'm still going to max it out, but the guys that are slower that can't now are going to be bumping elbows with me. You know, so that doesn't make sense. Now you're talking about pros who are all on the limits of the gearing, you know, currently, but, you know, nobody, like Chris Froome's not contending for a sprint because he just doesn't have the power to turn a big gear or go that fast.
Well, and the other part is, I mean, I didn't.
Sorry, Nairo Quintana.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big of a deal it was with gear selection, where it's like, okay, most normal people nowadays are riding around on a 50-34 who are non-pros. Just that's what typically comes on most bikes. And if you're just doing most normal group rides that are not fast group rides, that'll be totally fine.
Even a subcompact is fine, a 52-11 or whatever.
Oh, I'm talking about 50-34.
No, I know, but even if you were to push it up more,
Yeah, no, and I've rode a 52-36, but I remember we went out and did Tour de Palm Springs, and we're in a big group going downhill.
you barely see those numbers.
Where
You're spinning out
the
a
entire
52.
time. I'm like, you know what? I could throw a 53-39 on here, and it would be a lot more comfortable
Yeah.
because you're never slowing down that much.
I mean, the sprint, in a fast sprint, I can top out a 53-11, but it's rare,
Sure.
you know, and the pros are going awfully faster than that, but that's pretty much at my limit. Now you take the pros.
We do it every day.
So I have the potential to be able to bump elbows with the top pros, which is ridiculous. It's going to compress the sprinting group much.
I
You
hadn't,
know.
I hadn't considered that as well because because
Now guys,
they were running what 56s.
And a Cavendish will run a 54 or a 55, depending on the sprint.
Well, the latest Shimano stuff 54-40.
Well, he sprinted at a pretty high cadence, so it shows you like somebody that's more of a torque sprinter.
Yeah, because
They can
Milan was
push
running a
another.
56
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah, those guys definitely more torquey and more power.
Yeah.
Where Cavendish is more aero and more slippery and more high cadence.
Yeah, now they're going to want to put everybody on 53-11, and by the way,
So I
sure
can
your
spread
tires
around.
the right size.
Yeah. And I've got these wider bars like this coming through. That sounds like a recipe for disaster for me.
Yeah. The other thing that will be interesting is U.S. cycling and British cycling have both said they will not be enforcing any of these rules. So it'll be interesting to see if the UCI ends up kind of changing.
I've heard a couple of the pro teams are going to disregard it, so that's yet to be seen. That's only rumors I've heard, but
because the only events that the UCI, as far as I know, is actually present at or hosts the event
The
is the
international
World Championship stuff.
yeah.
So it wouldn't be difficult for them to go to a major event and then just nobody checks it.
It'd be interesting to see how they try to enforce some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyhow, that's my ranting. I think that's all we've got for today.
that's pretty good. Write in the comments what you guys think. Some of the stupider ones. Some of the things that tell us we're full of shit.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Feel free. I'll make a PowerPoint for that one too.
Absolutely. And we'd love to see some stats on you, what you guys are thinking. Because RJ is fucking spouting off like a fucking yapping like crazy.
Taking it all in.
Taking it all.
Can't
in.
shut him up.
Yeah. Anyways,
All right.
like and subscribe.
Till next time.
We're out of here.